What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Beebs Gaming. It has been a long wait. I know it's probably been nearly 3 weeks now since I have released a video, but I am back from vacation and I am ready to get the ball rolling and start making videos again for you guys. What you guys are going to see in the background is going to be 2 weeks of the Madden 23 franchise. I didn't want to make them into individual videos because I had recorded them right before I went on vacation, so they're outdated. One of the games I didn't even have a voiceover. I just played it because I kind of wanted to focus. That didn't do so hot, but what you guys will see in the background are those two games. We sucked really bad in both of those games. Another reason that I kind of want to just talk over them because we have some catching up to do. I want to talk about some things, including some college football, NFL football, fantasy, and just life. So that's what we're going to do in today's video. I'm going to talk for about roughly 16 minutes. I have edited the Madden footage, and it's come out to about 16 minutes. So I'll talk for about 16 minutes here. First thing I want to start off by saying is, I was on vacation. It was a good time. I was able to make it to my second Michigan football game of all time. I went to the game against UConn. It was a noon kickoff game. Surprisingly very hot outside. I picked up a sunburn, but it was a good game, and I love being at those college football atmospheres and just atmospheres like that in general where there's a lot of fans and it's loud and everybody's emotional. It was a good time. Obviously, it was a 59-0 beatdown, so there wasn't much excitement as far as how close the game was, but it was very fun. My second game, the first game I went to was in 2017. It was the Michigan versus Minnesota game, nighttime, and that was a fun game. It was in the rain. It was really cold outside. It was Big Ten football, classic Big Ten football. So that was really fun. But going back to the game that I went to just a little while ago, that was a fun game. Now, Michigan now 4-0 on the season. Took care of business in the first 3 games with ease. But then again, you're playing against teams that had a combined record of 0-9, and these are 3 of the worst teams in college football. So it doesn't really say much when you beat the crap out of them. It's kind of expected. But last game, 2 nights ago, we played against Maryland, and I got to say this first off. Maryland is a really good football team, but I think that we should have handled them a little easier. I'm a big fan of J.J. McCarthy, and in my past videos I've talked to you guys about the battle between McNamara and McCarthy, and that McCarthy is the big play guy, but McNamara is safe with the ball. Well, with a big play guy like McCarthy, it comes with some risk. You got a young, inexperienced quarterback, and he's going to try and make plays, and I love that. But it does come with a risk because he may make bad decisions. He may hold on to the ball too long, take sacks, take big hits. And that's something that he'll learn with experience. And I think that I'm not worried about the way that we played against Maryland. I think that we will be a prepared football team come time to play Ohio State. I think the defense will improve. The defense needs to improve big time because we struggled to stop the run at points in that game. And I'll tell you right now, Ohio State's running game is no joke this season, along with their defense. Their defense is not going to be as bad as they were a year ago. So it is going to be challenging to play Ohio State. But I think that Michigan is built for them. I think that we have been building a roster over the last couple of years to try and beat Ohio State. And I think that we can do it again this year. We just got to play perfect football, something that we have sort of done to start this season, but it's hard to really judge how great we've been. Like I said, we played UConn, Hawaii, and Colorado State. It's hard to judge how well your team really is if that's your competition. But Maryland was a good team, and I think that we learned a lot about this Michigan team, and I'm excited to see how they can progress and move forward. But, the Maryland game was a trap game potentially, but I think we got a trap game this Saturday against Iowa as well because Iowa was a good football team, but I think their offense is just a little too lackluster to put up the points to beat Michigan. So I really see us pulling away in that game. I think it could be a defensive battle in the first half, but I think Blake Corum and J.J. McCarthy do their thing. We put up a couple of touchdowns in the third quarter, fourth quarter, and we come away with the win. But I'm excited for Michigan football this season. I think the schedule is easy. There's nothing that you can do about it. That's the schedule we have. You got to take care of the teams that are on your schedule to make it to the Big Ten championship, to the college football playoff. You go 12-0, don't matter how weak or strong your schedule is. We'll figure it out when it comes November. So moving away from Michigan football, I want to talk about the team you're watching right now in this Madden video, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, I don't think the Steelers will be as bad as I'm playing in this Madden franchise, but this could be an ugly year if this offense doesn't figure it out. I'm not the type of person that's going to go on there and say, hey, we need to fire this coach. But Matt Canada, as our offensive coordinator, is not cutting it. He is really not a good offensive coordinator. Our offense looks very simple, like in a bad way. It looks almost like it's a college offense. There's no complexity to it. You don't have to have a very complex offense to win games, but you got to be able to execute that offense. If it's too complex and, basically what I'm getting at is this offense just looks very bad. And it has no rhythm. And I'm not dogging on Mitch Trubisky. I think he could be a potentially good quarterback. And I think that he hasn't done anything to necessarily lose us games. I think it's just the offense as a whole has lost games for us. We saw what George Pickens has said about how he's open every single play. And I kind of believe the fact that those Steelers receivers are open. I think they're all very good receivers. I think Claypool is definitely stepping up and fitting into his role now. So I think Claypool is good. Pickens with probably the best catch I've ever seen. And then Deontay Johnson, yes, this drop issues are still there. And what you do about that, I don't know. It's frustrating to watch as a Steelers fan, but I can only imagine how it is for the quarterback throwing on the ball or even Deontay Johnson himself. It's got to be very frustrating. And it seems to always happen in the big moments, and that's why it's super frustrating is because his clutch, overall, I guess if that's what you want to call it, is not very high. He drops passes in big-time moments. But I think the offense can improve. I think that the play calling's got to get better, and I think the rhythm that you get into you got to get into a rhythm. Without getting into a rhythm, your offense is going to look offbeat all season long, and our defense has been pretty good to start this season, especially the way that we played in week 1 with the turnovers that we forced and the sacks. I mean, I thought the defense is playing pretty well to start this season. We're 1-2, but at some point, your best offense has got to be presented because our defense cannot win us games. They did against the Bengals. I'm not going to lie. Our defense won us that game. We are, a couple of plays away from, actually a PAT away from losing that game and being 0-3 right now. So something's got to change on that offensive side of the ball. Now, I was going to bring it up. Najee Harris is not performing to expectations. He looks very weak running the ball. And listen, I'm sitting in an office chair right now playing a video game. So I'm not really in a position to say this is how he should run or how he shouldn't run. But for being the size that he is, 6'2", 240, Derrick Henry type of size, he doesn't run like a Derrick Henry. He runs like he is a Darren Sproles, trying to dance around and make plays that way. And he has power, and he's put it on display. But he's also put that power on display versus DBs, who are 2 times smaller than him. When you hit a hole and you have a big middle linebacker filling that hole, and it's one-on-one, and you're Najee Harris' size, you would kind of expect to just go through that guy. But Najee Harris doesn't do that. He dances too much. Like I said, I'm in no position to say what he should and shouldn't do because he's far better than I would ever be. But what I am saying is that the expectations are very high for Najee Harris, and he is not performing very well. So something's got to change at the running back position as well. I'm not saying that Najee Harris needs to lose his job, but I think that fans and analysts are starting to wake up and realize that there was a lot of high praise for Najee, but he's never really done anything special, at the big time level. So we'll see how he can improve and how the Steelers team in general can improve. Like I said, in the Madden franchise, Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season with the Steelers. So I don't want to see one now, but we need to improve. Like I've said it already probably 10 times in just this video, we do need to improve. But I'm having fun now that football is back. Fantasy football has been up and down. I'm the same record as the Pittsburgh Steelers now. I'm 1-2. My team is pretty decent. Believe it or not, I'm in a 14-man league. So how that ended up happening, it started out as 10. 2 people got added. Well, actually 3 people got added, and we had 13, so it was uneven. So we had to add one more. Surprisingly, people have really good teams in this fantasy league. My team, I'm on my 3rd quarterback. I'll probably be on my 4th next week, depending on if I make a trade or what happens there. But in week 1, I had Dak Prescott. He got hurt. Week 2, I had Jameis Winston, and he played really bad because he was hurt. So then I'm thinking, who's my week 3 quarterback going to be? And then Trey Lance goes down, and I'm like, well, I'll pick up Jimmy Garoppolo, and we'll see what he can do. each week they've all struggled. I don't think I've gotten over 10 points out of my fantasy quarterbacks all season, so that's tough. But I did pick up Amon-Ra St. Brown in the draft, and he just came out and had a great start to the season. The Lions, they're 1-2, but they are a lot better than 1-2. Their offense is very good. They're very high powered. I like what the Lions are doing over there. I'm a believer in them. I've always been kind of a Lions fan of sorts because of my family. They've never been my number one team. I'm a one-team type of guy when it comes to sports. I don't like more than one team. But I'm rooting for the Lions, pretty much my entire life they've struggled. But Dan Campbell, what he's building over there in Detroit is very exciting. I think they have potential to be a good team here, even this year. But getting back to my fantasy team, I think running back is a position that I was looking at when I drafted. I said this could be a good running back group for me. I had Christian McCaffrey and James Conner, but James Conner, he's struggling along with the Cardinals in general. Kyler Murray is not the guy everybody thought he was going to be. Granted, it could just be a down year, but we will see. But I'm just glad football season is back. But I kind of want to lay out a little bit of expectations of what you guys can expect from this channel moving forward. We are a few days away from October, and in October, Call of Duty will come out. So I do want to get into playing some Call of Duty on this channel occasionally, maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks. But I do want this channel to be Madden focused because that is the game I enjoy playing. But it's been almost 3 weeks since I've played, so I'm going to hop back onto the Madden franchise. I'm going to put together a new set of sliders if they've changed. We'll see what Matt 10 has out, but we're going to get back on the Madden 23 grind and put out quality videos. I need to slow my roll. Don't get too excited. Make a quality video. Make sure the commentating is good commentary. There we go, if I can talk. And then there's been times where I've made a video and just forgot to get a thumbnail while I was making the game. I got to be patient with this, and we'll figure it out as we're going. We're going to figure out this whole Madden 23 franchise. I'm excited for the remainder of the franchise. I'm excited to get into the draft. We'll see what are we going to do when it comes draft time in this franchise. I'm a little bit, relieved that I'm not the only guy that's struggling playing on all Madden. I've been watching Mr. Hurricane's franchise. I'm finally caught up on it because being on vacation, I was unable to watch most of the games he had played. But he's 0-5 in that franchise. So I'm not the only guy that's struggling on all Madden. I am struggling to stop my opponents, though, in these games. The offenses can just do whatever they want against me, and that's very frustrating. But we're going to get better. I want to be better at the game so that my content can be better. I think that personally, I feel as if the Bills game was my best content that I've ever put out. But, I can't just have one video be good and the next 10 be bad because I'm not having fun playing the game. So we're going to get better at it. I'm excited to continue that series, and I'm excited to continue this channel and bring content to this channel. I am excited for the Call of Duty game. Like I said, though, it comes out here in October. It'll be my first Call of Duty game since when Modern Warfare came out, which I had a lot of fun playing that. I played online, on multiplayer, pretty heavy for about 6 to 7 months, and then Warzone started to come out and pick up its pace, and I had a lot of fun with Warzone. I was talking to somebody the other day. I think that first victory in Call of Duty Warzone was probably the best victory I've gotten in a video game ever. It's an exciting game, and that's an exciting thrill as far as playing video games go. It's getting that first win in a battle royale game. It's like when I got my first win in Fortnite. Does anybody still play Fortnite? I have no idea, but I'm going to bring it up. But, yeah, I've been a video game guy. At this point, I'm kind of rambling on. Trying to get to that 16-minute mark. I could just edit the footage down and make it 14 minutes. But I believe that is probably it for things that I need to speak of. College football back in full effect now. We're getting ready to head into week 5 already. It's kind of crazy to think that next in 5 days we're going to be a month away from hitting November, and that's when Ohio State and Michigan are going to play at the Horseshoe. In case anybody was wondering, I am from Ohio, so it's tough being from Ohio and being a Michigan fan for all of those years that Ohio State beat us. I could never say anything because if I said anything, Ohio State fans would just come at me saying, "Oh, well, you've only watched Michigan win one time your entire life." And that was true up until last year. That was my second time. So we'll see what this football season brings to us. I hope that it's success on Michigan's side and the Pittsburgh Steelers side. Not so confident that that will happen for the Steelers, but for Michigan, I think that they have potential to put together a great season. I'm excited to see how it shapes out. I'm going to end this video off. I'll have to edit down the footage a little bit to make sure that you guys aren't just watching footage with no commentary. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. I'm going to be back in full effect here soon. Another franchise video coming out very soon. I hope you guys like this one, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya.